Jones out clearly, but it's Faulkner, Wyhoon and Grant Monday, the second, third and fourth. That's the order. Now, Wyhoon is very, very quick through the turns, but seems to lose out just a little in power on the straights. Now they'll come rumbling into turn number 3 now. Wyhoon's car seems to stick that much better in the turns, as you can see. Now the exit.
Terry Wyhoon. Oh, there we are. One in trouble.
This might be all they need for the flag.
If he stops out there, we'll have the yellows out very quickly. Yeah.
That's all we need for the mandatory stops now.
This is what Bradley Jones will be looking for.
Now they'll have to pick the pace car up and do one lap under the pace car until the pit lane is open.
There is the yellow. 30 laps to go.
Perfect timing. Not so much perfect timing, but perfect positioning.
It certainly is. We'll have to wait and see what happens. Brad Jones at this stage of the race leads from John Faulkner. Third is Terry Wyhoon. Grant Monday is fourth. Peter Fitzgerald is fifth. The pace car is out. We'll be back in a moment. Back at Calder Park Thunderdome, pace car still out there, but here come the leaders. The charge into the pits to complete their mandatory stop. Brad Jones, the race leader. John Faulkner, who runs in second spot. Terry Wyhoon in third. Grant Monday in fourth. They are all headed for the pits. Here's Jones pulling up. About to change the tyres. Jack the side of the car up. There's Faulkner's crew. They're already at it. Not too much between the two of them.
Marshall Brewer's rejoined. He's come back into the pits as well, so he must have an additional problem. Oh, there's been a collision down the end of pit lane. Marshall Brewer trying to get out. Meanwhile, Brad Jones and John Faulkner, these are the guys, the main protagonists in this competition.
Jones has got crew something on the left front. Yeah. Something, car still in the air. They're fooling around with the left front.
Pace car's half the way down back straight.
This is the last thing you want.
This is nail-biting stuff, but Bradley, everything under control. He gets back out. Now he's going to really hammer it. The lights are still on the pace car, so we won't have...
Well, fortunately, that's not going to affect him too greatly. He'll be able to pick up what he's lost in the pits behind Marshall Brewer. But he's not going to be able to pick up John Faulkner. There's Bradley trying to pick it up behind the pace car at the moment. They've all just about completed their stops.
Yeah, she lose the psychological edge there. Mikey wanted to be out in front again, maintain his lead, make the others worry about how they were going to get by him. Now he's got the frustration of knowing he's got to work his way by, and that's a lot harder, obviously.
So John Faulkner now takes over the lead in the race. Brad Jones is up to second. Bradley, that looked like a fairly long pit stop.
Oh, yeah, I thought it was, yeah. Well, what can I say? We were beaten in the pits today. Hopefully I can make it back up on the track.
The car looks pretty strong from where we're watching. How's it from where you are?
Well, it's a lot better than it was in the first race. I can actually stop it before I get to the turn, so that's a big plus. The car seems to be handling nicely. Kim just told me the tyre wear was good, and now all I've got to do is nail a couple of these cars in front of me.
The way you pulled away in those opening laps, Brad, looks like you have a bit of a race speed advantage over John Faulkner.
No, I think you might find he's laying down a little bit, though. He didn't want to go too fast at the start, but my plan was simple. I was going to go hard right out of the box, and if there wasn't a yellow, I figured I had it. So there was a yellow.
Okay, we'll let you get back and concentrate. Thanks, Bradley.
Talk to you later.
They're under formation at the moment and will take the green flag the next time around. Now, cars that are down a lap hang to the inside. The fast lane for the restart is the outside. There you can see John Faulkner with Brad Jones, the Castrol Commodore, right behind him. Grant Monday moves up into third. This is so important to get the whole shot here. The pace car will pull off the circuit in the next turn. Beautifully turned out Ford pace cars here at Thunderdome. And here is the pace car ready to leave from the circuit, which it does. And now it is time to get it down. John Faulkner jumps up on the outside. There's Brad Jones and the Castrol Commodore going after him. Grant Monday on the outside of Gary Rogers. He goes down a lap or so as they sweep down into the first turn, with Jones now dialing right in, getting in the draft now. John Faulkner, has he got some speed in reserve? Jones gets to the inside as they come along the back straight and passes John Faulkner as they zip up into turn number 3. So Jones back to the lead in the Castrol Commodore. Faulkner in second, and Grant Monday is in third.
Well, Brad Jones is showing that he wants that lead. He doesn't feel comfortable in second spot. He's not worried about what the others have got. He wants his car flat to the floor and get some of that real estate behind him, and he's doing that nicely.
Just look at a little bit of the area he pulls out on John Faulkner here. Faulkner being able to match him through qualifying, but there's a bit of extra speed on board. Marshall Brewer has looked down the inside, but Marshall's a lap down. Ooh,
that was close.
Gives a brush at the rear quarter panel on Faulkner's Commodore. He wouldn't like that, particularly with a lap car. So Faulkner tries to put a bit of air between himself and Marshall Brewer. Marshall, meanwhile, is trying to get himself unlapped as they pick their way through these slower cars in the opening laps following the yellow flag restart.
And he's scrapping here for second and third. It's just money in the bank for Brad Jones. Always go just that tad slower when you're trying to fend off somebody else. And here's third spot now for Faulkner.
Faulkner's been pushed wide. Terry Wyhoon comes through on the inside as well. And down the inside comes Grant Munday, 3 abreast. Grant Munday's got great positioning here.
Great racing here today at Calder Park Thunderdome, being watched by a huge and appreciative crowd.
Terry Wyhoon's doing a great job here. He blew his own engine on Friday and ended up having to borrow an engine from Rodney Jane's old Commodore VL. Well, it's certainly done pretty well. They stuck it in here. He qualified 5th. And he's showing a lot of good race speed here.
I sometimes think, Mark, the old parts are better than the new ones. And going on performances at Bathurst last week, I'm becoming a real advocate of that feeling.
Now here's the mover in the pack, Bruce Williams, in the Bendix green and white Commodore.
He's moving up on the tail now, Peter Fitzgerald. They're both hauling in John Faulkner.
This is the battle for 4th, 5th and 6th. Good run for Fitzy too, the new Commodore VP. He's only had a couple of outings in AUSCAR since he first debuted in the series last season, but coming to grips with AUSCAR quite well. Nicely built car, immaculately presented, running in the Goodyear colours. And this is quite a consistent run from Fitzy today.
This is what close racing is all about. You can see a few of the bumps there along the back straight. As they,
Bruce Williams.
Take it easy, mate.
Just goes down on the pit apron. That's hairy stuff.
Wasn't bad, he caught it.
Well, that's Flip City. That's very much an edge there on the bottom lane, which is flat. And then when you flip up onto the start of the banking, he won't do that too many times.
It has a habit of unsteadying the car no end. But he was able to survive that one. He'd gone in way too deep and then had to try and brush a lot of it off. Or otherwise he'd been straight through the side door of Peter Fitzgerald. In the meantime, Fitzgerald closes on John Faulkner. This is the scrap, 4th and 5th. Faulkner with Fitzgerald closing, gets in the draft, down through the tri-oval. Looks towards the inside. There's not much room to play with there. And all the time, car number 9 is making up ground again.
Yes, this is the kind of run that you love to have in front. On the radio, his team will be telling him what kind of a gap he's got and anything that he's got just in reserve that he can ease off a little bit and not hurt his lap times too much. That's how you win races, at the slowest possible speed, not the fastest possible speed.
Look at Bruce Williams here. After getting the car pretty unsteady 2 laps ago, he's had to make up all that ground again. Dives down on the inside, takes Fitzgerald. The car really does stick when he gets it in there on the inside. Now he has to work away at Faulkner going down the back straight. See what he can do. His forte is obviously catching them at the end of the straight and just diving to the low side.
Well, let's hope his ambitions aren't mixed up with his abilities with the moves like that, but he's certainly handling it well at this stage.
Here he goes again down the inside, drives it in deep, drives it in hard. Will it stick? Yes, it does.
Wow, he's on a real charge. Bruce Williams, former AUSCAR Rookie of the Year, first competed in an ex-Brad Jones Commodore VL. As said, won that very exciting race in the last race of last season.
There's Bradley Jones, the Castrol Commodore, riding it hard down the back straight. 9 laps remaining in this opening round of the Goodyear AUSCAR Championship. Brad Jones, defending champion, 3-time winner of the title. And the Castrol Commodore, after some problems earlier today, seems to be running smoothly.
Is it clear enough?
So Brad Jones heads into the bottom corner. Can you hear us, Brad?
Yeah, hi, Mike.
That looks pretty good. You got a good break.
Feels pretty nice.
Does it feel better than it did in the opening heat?
Oh, much better. The changes Kim and the guys did to the car certainly made a lot of difference, and even though I can feel the tyres going off, it's still stronger than the rest. So, yeah, we're pretty happy with our Castrol Commodore today.
You've certainly left John Faulkner behind, Brad.
Well, I was expecting him to sort of run along a bit towards the end of this race, but maybe he's got a bit of a problem. But they didn't change their car between the heats, so who knows?
All right, thanks for the chat. We might see you in victory lane.
Thanks, Mike.
Brad Jones, not really a time to have a go and hearty with the drive, because the element of concentration here is unbelievable, and the G-forces, Alan, you could explain, having driven at Daytona.
Well, it starts fooling around with your eyeballs as much as anything, Mike. You get disorientated with the bank coming up, and truly you do have to concentrate, and certainly in the case of the overseas speedways where the inclination is much higher and the straightaway speeds are much stronger, it is quite frightening to hit the banks. But here at Calder, no mean feat to keep these cars moving well. And I would like to compliment Brad Jones, the way he's floating his car through the corners. And this is a key to good driving. He's not hurting and scrubbing his tires. He's just letting the car float through up there. It may look as if he's getting too close or cheeky with the wall, but it's not. He's letting the G-forces, the centrifugal forces, work for him instead of against him. And he's truly just floating this car around here this afternoon.
So it's basically the string principle.
Absolutely, yes.
Bradley heads off on the penultimate lap. It's 1.8 kilometre circuit. And Bradley really has strutted them in heat 2. Had some brake problems in the earlier heat. But Kim and Brad have a really good relationship as far as setting the car up. They came into the pits at the break between the two heats, did some adjustments to the car, changed the brake pads. And obviously the tweaks that they've put on the car in between has made a big difference. Bradley has made this second heat look very easy.
He's taken the white flag with 1 lap to go. So Brad Jones down into turn number 1. Marshall Joe Brewer, who is down a lap on the leaders, will tail him along the back straight. Second still being held by Grant Munday and Terry Wyhoon. But today has been the Brad Jones show at Calder Park Thunderdome. Keeps the car sticking to the low side of the circuit, comes off turn number 4, back through the tri-oval. Checkered flag is already waving as Brad Jones takes it across the line to win this afternoon's opening round of the championship from Grant Munday and Terry Wyhoon, who finishes back there in 3rd spot. And 4th place will go to Bruce Williams over Kenny James. Well done, Brad Jones. We'll check them out for you now on the 7 Sport race score. Brad Jones, winner of the opening round of the AUSCAR Championship. Grant Munday in 2nd place. Terry Wyhoon in 3rd. Bruce Williams 4th, and Kenny James rounds out the 5. And we'll be back at Calder in just a moment. Welcome back to Calder Park Thunderdome. Those black clouds starting to roll in here this afternoon, but fortunately all of the action is just about over. Well, Alan Moffat, I'm sure you'll agree, nothing beats car preparation in those stakes. Brad Jones was in front here today.
Yes, he was. He has an immaculate prepared car. He did drive it well, but he may well have won the race here 2 weeks ago with his preparation.
You might be right. Well, I think a delighted Brad Jones, joined in victory lane by Andy Raymond.
And the winner and defending champion from last year, Bradley Jones. Brad, you must be wrapped.
Very happy. After the first heat, I couldn't believe how that one went. We made a fairly drastic change on the pit stop to the car because I didn't think it was capable of winning the second heat, and yeah, it was perfect.
The new VP Commodore, obviously, you are happy with it?
Well, it's a fair bit different to our old car, and it's the first time it's done 50 laps because of the weather down here. So at the moment, I'm very happy. Whenever you win, you're happy.
And the pressure that was on today, being the defending champion, I guess, blew out the window?
Well, I was expecting them to come at me from all corners towards the end of that heat, but it didn't happen, so I'll take them any way I can have them.
So let's take a look at the points table. Brad Jones, the leader after round 1, 175. Grant Munday in 2nd spot on 170. Terry Wyhoon 3rd on 165. Bruce Williams on 160 and Ken James 155. Don't go away. We'll be back at Calder Park Thunderdome in just a moment. Back here at Calder Park Thunderdome, and I'm sure you'll agree, Alan Moffat, some of the guys have got some homework to do here before they come back for the Christmas Classic.
Well, fortunately, they got a few weeks to do that, Mike, and let's hope the weather's a little bit more on their side so they can get some testing in. I really do think people are just a bit rusty and they haven't had a chance to put their best foot forward.
Well, the opportunity, obviously, for the Americans to come here for the Christmas Classic, that means everyone has to pick the act up just a notch because they're coming off their complete season. These guys are just starting.
Well, I think it is a match practice, as you've seen, the cricketers, everybody, they have to get into the season, and we shouldn't be too unkind on these fellows here today. It's been a rough week for everybody.
Well, I hope you've enjoyed our coverage. On behalf of Alan Moffat, Mark Oster, Andy Raymond and the team here at Calder Park Thunderdome, we look forward to your company for the Christmas Classic, our next expedition here to Calder Park on Sunday, December 6th. We look forward to your company then. This 7 Sport motor racing presentation was brought to you by Castrol. Oils ain't oils.